To all the
these
girls you love.
JJJ, Troy. I'm on for golf tomorrow. Wrong number.
You got put into some kind of a group text. The boys want to go golfing. You sure it's not people that you work with? Do they call you JJ?
Mark Berry.
Matt Berry. From the 06010.
Matthew Berry.
Fantasy. We're in the 06010. Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
Board games.
and
board gamey things.
Exactly. We're here today to do a video about board games that just shouldn't be as good as they are. And
No.
you're like, what does that mean? To be honest with you,
We
we
don't
don't
know
really
either.
know. But like, do you know, have you ever played a game and you're like, it's so simple, it's so silly, but it's so good,
Mm-hmm.
it's so fun, and you're like, this game shouldn't be this good.
It's true.
It's kind of like when a bad B movie, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, crushes it. And
I
you're
think
like,
it's kind
this
of
shouldn't
like-
be as good.
I think for the most ones we picked, it's like, it's such a simple, like, mechanically easy game
Yeah,
that it shouldn't be as fun as it is,
but
given
it
that.
is.
And most of them involve dice.
Rolling dice is fun. So that's what the video is about today. We've got 10 games to go over, I think. But let's start with the most obvious one. Okay, what is it, Jeff? It's called Can't Stop.
That's the game.
That's the game. Can't Stop is a dice rolling push your luck game where you are just trying to be the first one to get your 3 little thingamabobs up to the top of the row. All you're doing,
It's funny because they are literally
they're
thingamabobs.
thingamabobs. It's just numbers and rows and dice and thingamabobs, and you roll your dice and you're like, will I go up on the 1 or the 2? Will I go up on the 7 or the 10? I don't know. And then you move it up, and then you roll again. And then you go, should I go up on the 3 or the 4? And you do that until you either say, I'm going to stop because I feel pretty good, or you bust. Everything explodes around you, and you don't get to move, and you ruin everything.
Mm-hmm.
This game is so ridiculously fun,
It is.
and it has 3 components.
You don't even need... All you need is the dice.
Well, you need the track.
You could just put it on a piece of
You
paper.
could put it on a piece of paper, I guess. You could use your own
With
thingamabobs.
with a pen.
With a pen. Exactly.
Pencils, because you'd have to erase, I guess.
It's so easy.
Mhm.
It is so much fun. I challenge you to find somebody who doesn't think this game is fun. And if you don't, you're wrong.
If you do, you mean.
If you don't think it's fun, you're wrong. You do think it's fun, you're right.
That's a weird phrasing, but
If
I
you
got
don't think it's fun,
No, I got you, but
you're wrong.
your phrasing was a bit weird.
I didn't think that it was.
Yeah, it was really roundabout.
The point is, this game, I can't believe that it is as good as it is. It's also a very old game.
Is it?
Yeah, it's from like the 1800s or the 80s, one of them.
Those are the same thing.
Yep. And so it's a game that
So
like,
it's either from the 1880s or the 19...
or the 1800s.
Oh, sorry. So it's from the 1800s or the 1880s?
It's by Sid Saxon, so I assume it's the 80s actually.
Or it's from the 1800s or the 1980s?
Yes.
You didn't answer the question.
What did you say?
Never mind.
It's either from the
Right.
1980s
Yeah.
or the 1800s.
Got it, yeah.
But it's
that's what I was
definitely
wondering.
not the 1800s because it's by Sid Saxon. Anyways, the point is, first
It's
time
definitely not the 1800s because that would be a ludicrous
the
statement.
first time that we played this game, I was like, I don't think I want to play this game. This looks dumb. And then we played it and we were like, again. And now it's probably one of my most played games on like BGA.
Yeah, it just varies. You just sit out and play.
You just set up and play.
Yeah.
That's our first
You
pick.
say that about all games, but you know what I mean.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. The next game on the list, Jeff, what is it? You say this one.
Numbsters from Button Shy.
From Button Shy. Exactly. I recently introduced Jeff to Numbsters as early as yesterday.
Yeah, I'm a bit hooked on it. I can't stop thinking about it. Numbsters is an 18 card game, which all Button Shy games are, wherein you are essentially trying to end up with 2 cards in your hand. One of the cards needs to be the 8.
Yep.
And then basically any other card. If you do that, you win. Sounds simple. It's not. You have to manipulate cards around in your hand in order to put the 8 card in between sequential numbers. And then it's basically the 8 is eating. So like
7,
the 3, 8, 4.
Yeah.
Get it?
The 3,
The
8,
10,
4.
8, 11.
Do you
Get it? Get the theme? It is not simple. It is very difficult to figure out how to move these cards around in your hand. Sometimes you have to trigger off of abilities that are on the front card. If at any point the 8 is the top card in your hand, you lose. It's not easy, but it is a challenge that you always want to come back to.
Mm-hmm.
I lost it twice on flight, and I was like, I want to go again. And I want to go again. Mm-hmm. It reminded me about a game we didn't include on this list, which is Gonchan Clever.
Yeah.
Because we are now in this realm of trying to score 300, which we both have at this point. But it's constantly pushing you to want to beat it.
Yeah.
And
it's only 18
cards. It's very simple to learn and play and just do on your own. It's a solitaire puzzle I get it now.
Yeah.
I didn't before, but I get it now.
And it just, like, an 18, like, we can talk about so many button shy games in this because, like, how you have no right to be as fun as you are and to have so much of a game with only 18 cards. And Nemsters you can literally play in your hand.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it just blows my mind that it is as good as it is.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Okay, the next one on our list is called Dice Miner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, this is a very easy game. It's a game about being a dice miner.
It's kind of like Yahtzee.
It's kind of like Yahtzee. You have, like, this little pyramid of dice that you're pulling from, and you can only pull from, like, the top unless you get a little beer mug and you cheers someone.
It's Jamie's favorite part.
Cheers.
She says it just like that every time, too.
And you flick your dice at them and you say, cheers. And then you can take from anywhere along the outside, and essentially, you're just trying to make runs from 1 to 5 on the pips on the dice. You're trying to collect gems, and you're gaining rerolls, and you're trying to get pickaxes to break down rocks and shields to fight dragons. And it plays over 3 rounds, super quick, super simple. Everybody gets a very easy to understand asymmetrical power. This game is so easy. It is so quick, but it is so much fun. Another game that as soon as we sat down and played it, like the next time we went back to Board Game Cafe, we pulled it out again. And then we bought it, and then as soon as we got home, we played it again. We played it in New Jersey. It's
slightly more robust Yahtzee.
Yeah.
With a little tower mechanic. Yeah. Like a little drafting dice mechanic. It's very simple. It's it's incredibly fun. I think that because it's ultimately a solitaire puzzle. Yeah. For the most part. You're grabbing dice to add to your own little thing, but adding that little tiny bit of interaction with the beer, the cheersing, amplifies it for some reason. Because, like, there's certain dice that can be detrimental. Yeah. The dragon dice or the rock dice can be bad if you don't protect yourself. So you can cheers those to other people, which can be super mean. So it adds just a tiny bit of interaction that I really, really enjoy.
But that cheers can also be really helpful.
Absolutely.
Because you could roll it and they could get exactly the number they want or something like that. And just, for how much game is in such a simple rule set, like it just doesn't, it shouldn't be as fun as it is, but it is great. And I actually I don't think I've talked to anybody who doesn't like this game.
It is an incredible intro game.
Yeah, agreed.
Such an incredible intro game.
It's something anybody can enjoy, regardless of their level. Okay, the next one that we have on this list is Diced Veggies. Jeff?
Diced Veggies is another dice-based game where you are essentially drafting orders from a shared draft area that has different recipes on it. All food recipes. And there is a dice block, good way of putting it, in the middle of the board that you have to cut pieces off of. And there's rules in order of what you're allowed to cut off and that sort of thing, which I won't get into. But basically, all the different colored dice represent different ingredients that you need for these recipes. The pips on the dice matter for like little bonuses and what have you.
And
That
limits
you can,
on what you
and
can cut.
limits and what you can cut out. And again, not getting into the nuance of things because it's not really worth it, but it's not complicated. You're just cutting off ingredients to build out orders to then build more orders out in the future.
Yeah.
It was what I wanted a game like
Kitchen
Rush to be.
Mm-hmm.
I love that theme of just being in a restaurant and completing orders. And this one added a very simplistic game around it with some really beautiful dice. And it's very simple, but there's a lot to think about because there's like bonus things you can do to beef up
like
your
combos.
Recipes. Yeah, like there's a bit of combo-ness to it. But ultimately a super simple mechanical game.
Half of the fun to me is even just like looking at the recipes and being like, oh, I want this one because it's my favorite food, even if I'm not set up for it.
Yeah.
It blew me away.
Yeah.
Next one on the list is from Oink Games, and it's Fake Artist Goes to New York. And the reason why this is on the list is because this is literally a box with a couple of little
prompts.
No prompts. Little whiteboards and markers. That's it.
There's no prompts?
There's no prompts.
Oh.
You come up with your own prompts.
I didn't know I needed.
You provide your own piece of paper. And like that's all that. So basically in Fake Artist to New York, you are thinking of a word that you want everybody to draw. And so you have all these little tiny whiteboards, and on one of them, you're going to write an X, and on the rest of them, you're going to write the word that you want everybody to draw. Let's call it a whale. You put those face down to the people, meaning one person around the table is the fake artist. Nobody knows who it is, except for the person who has the X and the person who gave that person the X, although they could choose to mix it up and not know. Mm-hmm. Then everybody is going to take a turn to draw one line of the diagram. And the next person is then going to draw another line. And the next person will continue. And you're trying to collectively draw whatever the word is. If you don't know what the word is, you're going to have to fake it until you make it. So if you notice, if you notice, okay, this looks like a fish. So maybe I'll draw a fin. But you don't know that it's a whale. You don't know, maybe it's a shark. Maybe it's whatever. That's the game. It literally has basically like nothing in the box. I hate to say this, but you do not need to buy this game.
No, you
I hate to say it for Oink Games, but you do not need to buy this game. Mm-hmm. That's the game. I just explained it to you. You just need a piece of paper and like little things where you can use something from another game. Use the just one things. Mm-hmm. That's the game. And it is so much fun. I have brought this to work. We have played this with the Table Knots crew. You can play it with literally anyone. Doesn't matter. All ages. Whatever. And it is hilarious. Yeah. It is so much fun for a game that's barely even a game. Like, do you know what I mean?
Barely even requires
has any, components
that is required. Yeah, it provides some of the best experiences we've had in gaming. Yeah. I have such a blast playing this.
Yeah, I literally at work, I bring this game to work, and we have on our fridge at work a picture that we drew from playing Fake Artist to New York. Fake Artist Goes to New York. Mm-hmm. Anyways, next one, Jeff, is Fuji Flash.
Fuji Flash is a game we've talked about a ton on the channel, so I won't go on and on about it like we always do, but it's basically just a set of cards, and that's it. And you are placing out these cards, and you're trying to get rid of the cards in your hand, and you're doing that by trying to get your card placed out, not getting flushed by anyone prior to you, or after you, with a higher card. So, for example, if I place out a 10, if Jamie is next to me on my left and she plays out an 11, she's going to flush me. I have to draw a new card to my hand. But if that gets all the way back around to me without anyone beating the 10, I get to discard the 10 without redrawing a card. Mm-hmm. That's the basic premise. You're allowed to match up card types with other players. So if 2 players play out 2s, they are now 4 total. And so you can chain that stuff together. But that's basically Fuji Flush. Fuji Flush, by far, presents some of the best gaming moments we've had since we've started this hobby.
Easily.
We've introduced it to a ton of people, and a ton of people have then gone out and bought out their own copy. We originally heard about this game from Board Game Barrage, and we followed their rules of making sure we're loud and rambunctious and yelling choo-choo trains as we play. I will caveat this game does require people around the table to get rowdy and get into it, because you can also play this game very boringly and not as rowdy, and it's just not quite as fun. But again, like a game that is literally, I don't know how many cards are in this, but it's just cards, and that's it. Again, some of my fondest memories are from playing this game. It
is a relatively simple rule set, though it does get a little bit confusing to people sometimes, but once you do a few rounds, you get into it, and just,
I think this is a game that, like, it's best to just give people cards and say, we're going to go turn by turn, and then by turn 2 or 3, people are like, yep, got it, and then you just keep going.
Yeah. Okay, the next one on our list is a game that we played recently with our friends, the Doolins from Table Knots, and it comes in a package that is about this big, and it's called Hue.
Doolin calls it gum.
Doolin calls it gum. It is. It's kind of like comes in a little gum pack, like juicy fruit gum pack, and it's called Hue, and basically you are just everybody's assigned like a color. And everybody has like a skull and crossbones basically that they can exit. And you're just trying to build a path, the longest path of this color that you're going to score, essentially, without getting cut off. And you're hoping that yours is going to score the most points. For what it is this the best game ever? No, but this is exactly what I wanted Abstract Academy to be. This is just a very quick, simple, amazing travel game that comes in a little tiny gum box that we had a ton of fun playing. Yeah. And I'm just like, of all the games, even like this is just colors on a card. That's it. And it was a lot of fun. So I would definitely recommend it. I ended up going to, when we were in New Jersey, we went to Barnes & Noble, and I bought a bunch of the gum box games because they're perfect for travel. Yeah. Next up, Jeff, is Mystic Paths.
So, Mystic Paths is a game I had actually heard about a little bit ago from Matthew Jude, and some of the Watch It Play team were talking about this game. Nick and Mike mentioned it, and then we finally got a chance to play it again in New Jersey with Michelle. Mystic Paths is a word puzzle game where you have a route that your miniature needs to follow on a shared board between all of the players. All of the places on the board have words on them. It could be Mr. Peanut,
Count
Chocula, Jolly Green Giant, ice,
Abraham Lincoln,
mountains, Abraham Lincoln,
air-conditioned shoes,
bunch of craziness. And then you have, again, your path card that you need to follow, and then you have prompts. So basically, you're going to put these cards, and all those cards also have words on them, that you need to associate with your path. And it is not easy, because what you're dealt is what you have to use. So if you have Jolly Green Giant, but the only words you have in front of you are like table, asphalt, rock, you need to make that work somehow. You have the ability to be like, not rock, or using rock, for example. You have a little, like, not token, I guess. It's an X, but it's basically, like, not rock or not something. Exactly. And that's the game. You want everyone to complete their path, basically. And that's the game. It's just words. It's just wordplay. Realistically, you don't need anything else around it. You just need cards, words, and a path. It has minis in it, which aren't required. But yeah, it was super fun. And I'm not super into wordy type puzzle games, but I very, very much enjoyed this one. I don't know why it works so much better than some of the other games I've played in this genre. But for some reason, this one really works. And I think it's because they've figured out a really good difference between the words on the board and the words in your hand. They're very abstract. Like, the words aren't abstract, but in relation to what's in the board, a lot of them don't make sense. And it's very difficult. Like, sometimes you get lucky, and you might have ice, and your air-conditioned shoes might be one of your prompts. So that can connect pretty easily. But a lot of the time, it's like, a stretch.
Yeah. As if we could have this list without mentioning sea salt and paper.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is literally just a set collection game.
Yeah, man.
And a race to a certain amount of
I
points.
don't know
how
yeah.
easy this game is, how portable this game is. Literally, you have a deck of cards and you have 2 piles. And you either pull 2 cards or you take one from the piles and you're just trying to make sets.
It's ridiculous.
That's the game. And you can stop the game if you have at least 7 points. You can bet.
Stop the round.
You can stop the round.
Mm-hmm.
You could bet and give people a last chance if you want to score some extra points and you're
Mm-hmm.
feeling confident. It's beautiful. It's so fun. It is now like our go-to game, whether it's just the 2 of us, whether we have people over, we need a filler game. It's always going to be sea, salt, and paper. We're playing it on BGA constantly. And it's
right there.
It's just cards and set collection.
Yeah.
How is it this fun?
There's been so many games that have done stuff like this that we've played. I'm like, that was fun. But for some reason, this one is just like...
It has like a hint of meanness, which I think is the perfect amount of meanness.
Yeah, it's got these little surface level things that just add to it. And the artwork's incredible.
Artwork helps.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, we would
I can't figure this one out.
Doing this list a disservice if we didn't mention sea, salt, and paper, because I think it is like the ultimate, like... How is this game possibly this fun? Agreed. How is that possible? Yeah. Okay, the next one on our list, Jeff, is Strike.
Strike is just dice.
Just chucking dice.
You're just throwing dice.
That alone is fun.
Into a bowl.
Yeah, it's an arena.
So the okay, the bowl's an arena.
Yes.
The box, when you open it, has dice in it. You'll take the dice out, and the box is your arena. Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's it.
That's the game.
That's it.
You are basically, these dice have basically an X on one side and then pips. And if the pips match, you get to pull them out and add them to your pool. If you don't, you can't grab anything. If you roll an X, that dice is removed from the game. You're going to go around and around. You have to at least throw once on your turn. After that, you can choose to pass. The last person to have dice remaining wins. That's it. And this was introduced to us the first time at PAX U, the first year we went.
Yes.
So a couple years ago now.
And we bought a copy.
We went and bought a copy because, again, that we were playing in a room of different content creators and other people that were around. There's probably like 50 people in this room. And like some people were playing Strike, us included. And like everyone was coming over to be like,
watching.
What are you playing? Why is everyone having a blast?
It's a rowdy time.
It's a rowdy time. Again, group dependent. But you're just chucking dice into a bowl.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. That's the game.
That's the game.
And even talking about it, I'm like, man, that sounds so boring.
But it's so fun.
But it is incredibly fun.
Love it.
It's a bit push your luck dice chucker.
Mm-hmm. The last game on our list is another Oink game. I honestly could have put a bunch of Oink games on here because they just have a knack for like, Scout would be one. It's not this one. Town 66. You are just building out a grid of shapes and colors.
Yep.
That's it. That's all you're doing. But the fact of the matter is that it's essentially like a Sudoku puzzle. Mm-hmm. And if you enjoy puzzling and if you enjoy sitting there and trying to figure out like what is the best move to do, this is a great game. So basically like in Town 66, you are making a 6x6 grid. Hence Town 66. Thank you to the commenter who pointed that out to us because we're a bunch of idiots. You are trying to get in every column and every row, there cannot be a matching color or shape. Mm-hmm. And it is possible to have a perfect grid, although it's not going to happen.
We've never had that.
I don't think it will ever happen. I don't believe it to be true. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that's the game. You're taking your turn. You're drawing pieces out of a bag. You're going to place one down. The next person's going to go, and whoever can outlast the other person wins. You can also play this solo. And it's an addicting game. It's another one where you just stop it and you're like, we can do better. Let's go again.
I think what's really interesting, too, about this is, like, it's as good at every player count. Mm-hmm. Like, we've played this at multiple player counts, and like the game is always just as good, and it is literally just like sitting there having a coffee, pulling a tile out, placing it, pulling a tile out, placing it. But it's a similar puzzle to like the stuff like Numpsters or Conjon Clever or whatever, where it's like, no, we can do a bit better.
We can do better than that.
There is a winner in this game.
Mhm.
But I think what's really unique is like the puzzle between like how far can we get? How many pieces can we put out? Because it also can end very quickly.
Yeah, it's almost like it's semi-co-op, honestly, because you have to work together in order to like build out the grid so you can keep going, but you also want to block the other person off. You don't know what shapes they have, but you do know what colors they have because you can see the back. And you're like, well, I'm going to put a yellow here because Jeff has 2 yellows and that's probably going to screw him over somehow. But it is just, once again, the right amount of mean and the right amount of fun for a tiny box. And it's just a bunch of squares and colors. That's it. Anyways, that is the list for today. So we would love to know down below, what are some games that you feel like fall into this category? We would love to know. We love finding little easy games that are just like a ton of fun. Who doesn't love to have fun? I know we do.
Yes.
Now, if you're interested in buying board games, like any of the 10 that we mentioned today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
the Boardroom Game Cafe.
Heck yeah, it is. You like snacks?
I do.
Amazing. Where should they go?
Lunch pack.
That's right. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
There it is.
I got the area code right. We just have to wait for our video to go live. Oh, it's live. Where is it? Is it not live? For fudge sakes. It is scheduled for today. Today's the 18th. 4 o'clock p.m. That was weird. Today's Tuesday. That was weird. Weird. Ugh. I'm hot. I'm hot. You're cold. You go around like you know who I am, but you don't. Do you know that song? What is it?
I don't know. I recognize it.
My toes. I'm slipping into the mud, and I'm trying to keep them going under.
I don't know what we're doing.
Maybe you won't temperature higher, 'cause I'm burning up for you, baby. It's Jonas Brothers, yeah. Obviously.
I recognize it.
Well, not enough. You have to like get you listen more Joe Bros.
Yeah, I'm good.
And you can block people off.
It's like length and girth, right? It is.
Yes.